What's up, you guys, and welcome to Coach Shaku of Gaming. My name is Alan, and we are playing a new indie game titled Little Red Lie. This game was developed by, I believe, WZO Games using Unity, one of my favorite game developing programs. I remember when I was in college, I was first introduced to Unity then, and fell in love with it. Awesome. I remember we were using it for level design. But I digress. So this game, Little Red Lie, tells the story of a couple characters. One, Sarah Stone, another, Arthur Fox. All right. So in the game, it says explore the contrasting characters and stories of Sarah Stone and Arthur Fox through a wide variety of deceptions and nothing else. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin. By the way, you guys, I started earlier, but the game was not being recorded. So I was literally doing commentary and playing for about 20 minutes maybe straight without realizing that the game was not recording. I had it enabled, but for some reason it just wasn't working. The Elgato was like tripping out. So I got to do it all over again. It's all good though. I'm happy to do it. So let's start. So before you begin, would you be willing to answer a brief questionnaire regarding confidential details of your personal and family finances? Sure. In the previous year, was your personal income in excess of $55,000, excluding any funds transferred to you by your grandparents? Nope. Do you regularly receive emergency funds from parents? From parents, grandparents, or other guardians? No. Would you rather commit suicide than live in significant poverty? Hell no. Little Red Lie is now in the possession of sufficient information about you to proceed. Yes. And that's me being as honest as I'll ever be, you guys. You're in dystopia. Now, like I said before, this game automatically wins in my book because the color palette. Red is my favorite color. As you guys can see on the screen, everything is in red. So this is already a win. The way I see it, dystopia is nothing but a distraction from a reality that will be even worse. And I noticed dystopia is highlighted quite a bit during the beginning. In dystopia, faceless stormtroopers tower over the horrified masses as they cling together for warmth. The guardsmen grit their teeth and pull their triggers on throngs desperate protesters and cutting down waves of innocent with sinister certainty. But in reality is nothing like that. In reality, the police don't need to be scary to scare you. In reality, the courts are so clogged and the cops are so callous and the cage is so cramped that the thought of getting lost in the labyrinth of their logistics scares you more than a bullet to the back of the head could ever. In reality, nobody needs to shoot you at all. You get knocked on your ass by a $1 zillion sound cannon and run away to save the eardrums you don't have the savings or the health insurance to lose. In dystopia, tattered rags or drab uniforms are dutifully worn by all. Met eyes and encoded gestures are made in shadows as the steel doors crush together. Also, as a disclaimer, you guys, I'm not going to be reading everything, every little piece, nook and cranny of dialogue in this game, every little piece of text. One, because it's just way too much. Second, I don't think you guys are going to hear me like talk and do commentary over every piece of text. So, yeah, for probably the majority of this, maybe half and half, I'll let you guys read it on your own, or we'll just read it together. Of course, I'll be reading it, but I'm not going to be commentating, reading the dialogue, all of it. But in reality, it's never that interesting. In reality, even the most horrible and seemingly incomprehensible power always ends up being the same old song. A bunch of assholes trying to get rich. The destruction of Mother Earth turns everyone into a chimney sweep, a hooded nightmare, an asphyxiating tinker. But in reality, the sky is blue as ever, the air is fever crisp, and the bright stars with it are what you look at while you wait for an ambulance after being stabbed over an apple that now costs $20. Wow. In dystopia, your only possession is a torn photograph. You end up bartending at a neon-soaked nightclub for futuristic gangsters. Wow, they really like to use reality and dystopia a lot. It's been repeated many times throughout the beginning of this game, the intro. I don't want to see another reality word again. I'm living in reality. I don't need to read it 50,000 times. In dystopia, you finally matter. You're finally going to make a difference. Every oppression ignites you with anger and fury that spurs you into legendary action. But in reality, you are exhausted. There it goes again. Stop it with the reality. But I think I know what the developers are going for. They're putting a large emphasis on dystopia and reality, and so those are like key words to look out for. Just a shitty little epilogue that goes on forever. Take notice of the words they constantly use. They recycle over and over again, and that's probably what the game is. That's the foundation of the game. Oh, by the way, so the color palette isn't just red, because if you guys saw a little while ago, there was like blue when it was talking about the night sky. Alright, anyways, the Kennedy Station. Yeah, so the game is not just all red. Under the bridge in the parking lot. They're waiting for me. Alright, movement, interact, and highlight. Game will autosave with notification. We all like autosave, so that's good. Let's go under here. There's no way I can negotiate with these people if I don't have a cigarette first. And I don't want to start the conversation on a note of why I've started smoking. Concealed chain smokers. Alright, I'll have the cigarette. There's an ashtray over there by the corner, and then I'll use that washroom to try and mask it as best I can. Alright, so the ashtray is over here, and then see, lie about taxis. So whenever people ask me if I take taxis or use a ride-sharing service, I realize that taxi cabs are a more compassionate answer, whether it's true or not. The joke is on them though. I can't afford to take either anymore. I'm just willing to argue about it because at least it makes me seem middle class. A nervous-looking ride-sharing guy, probably works for Uber, maybe Lyft. I don't know. Doesn't really specify. He doesn't want the cab behind him to realize what he's doing. Ride-sharing always felt strange to me. I sort of prefer how taxi drivers don't pretend to give a shit about you. I guess it's more authentic. I don't know. I think I've been in a taxi like once or twice in my entire life. And I just remember them taking the long way on purpose to get more money out of us. So, yeah. The worst was when the ride-sharing app started asking you to make all these bullshit, humane, personal comments about your drivers. As if you were talking to a close friend, rather than someone whose struggle you were exploiting. Maybe it just bothers me to have it pushed in my face. Yeah, it does make you seem like that, huh? Like they want you to say all these nice things about them, rate your driver 1 or 5 stars, all happy-go-lucky, pie in the sky, all that other crap. But it is what it is. These are the times we live in, people. Snow on the ground, rain in the sky, heat in the night. I tell them the truth. Tonight is the night. Alright, so we gotta go to the washroom. I've got a toothbrush, perfume, and gum. This should do it. Or at least well enough to be able to say it's secondhand. Yeah, I know plenty of people who smoke, and then they go through this tedious process of trying to get rid of the smell. They go to the bathroom. They stand up against the wind, maybe take off their clothes, air them out or whatever. A bunch of stuff, perfume, gum, like she's doing now, all kinds of stuff. If they put in that much work getting rid of the smell as they did trying to quit, they would quit. It wouldn't be no problem. But, again, I guess it's easier said than done. Lie about interest in social causes. Homeless deaths spike in downtown core. It would actually cost less to house these people than to pay the cost of them being on the street. I can't understand why people get upset at the idea of free housing. No need to pick this up. We still get it delivered. So in the video before, I actually commented on this. I gave my opinion. And I will say this. Again, I'm going to repeat what I just said. But nobody knows I said it because the damn thing didn't get recorded. But I'm going to say it again now. I have to play devil's advocate. I have to be objective when it comes to this situation. Because I understand that homeless people, they're homeless. They need a place to live. They can't be living out on the street, in tents, wherever, under bridges, But at the same time, if you build these free houses, if you put up these places for them to live, that's just going to incentivize them to be homeless. They're going to look at that and say, why would I want to be a productive member in society when I can just be poor and get a free ride? They're going to build these houses for me. Why should I do anything? So the city, the state, the government, whoever is in a sticky situation. So on one hand, there's pressure to build, to put up homes for these people who are homeless. And then at the same time, if you do that, you're just giving them a reason to stay homeless. So I don't know if anybody's thought about that, or if they're just, they just choose to, see it from, one-sided. In my older age, I try to be objective as much as possible. Trust me, it's not easy. Are you working late? Everyone works late now. I think that's a good answer. Yeah, big project. Yeah, they can't really trust too many people with it. Yeah, it makes sense. That's actually a legit answer. She says she'll ask a question about a restaurant, but she doesn't really care. I've done that before. I think we all have many times. We ask a question, we don't give a fuck. We're just trying to make time go by, just conversation, or converse and get to our get to have the day go by, just time go by, man. Just to kill just to kill time. But we don't really care. Just conversation, Feign interest in own life. Sorry, what? This weekend, what are you doing? Sleeping, eating, watching movies. I've seen it many times. Let's go with that. Watching movies. Probably get coffee with Claire and Steve. You know you're a loser when basic questions about what you're doing on the weekend feels like a humiliating interrogation. Okay, I actually had to look up that word fiend. I've never seen that before. So it actually means pretend to be affected by something. Okay, so it's like a feeling, state, or injury. All right. Wow, okay. Well, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. As soon as she looks back, I look away. I don't want to see the type of person I wish I could be, wishing I could. Okay, I remember that part. And I commented before, again, I like the art in this. It really captures the expressions of the parents, Sarah. It's great. And I'm a big fan of art. So this is definitely, you know, you guys get points for this. Filled with the unspoken sound of how much they've done for me. It's almost like the parents are like disappointed, you know, if you look at them, and Sarah's kind of like looking off to the side, you know, just, you know, maybe just wandering, almost like she's given up on like life, you know. I know it's a little, it might be a bit, I want to say presumptuous to say that, but and it's so early in the game, but I can't really help it. That's the feeling I'm getting just starting off, you know. I won't survive without my parents, but at least they're the only people who even care if I'm alive. You can't have less to lose than that. They treat me like I'm helpless. I had a salad with chicken and a granola bar. You gotta say it in your Stewie voice. I want a granola bar. Well, we have leftovers if you want. Alright, maybe a bit. Wow, living with your parents. That's tough. That's tough, because I actually went back home and I lived with my dad for about close to a year, I want to say. And it wasn't bad, but it was still like living back at home, and it was not comfortable for me. And I never feel comfortable living with people. It doesn't matter if it's parents, relatives, friends. Never. I never will get comfortable with it. I feel uncomfortable going to relatives' house and them offering me something. I don't feel comfortable taking anything from relatives. That's how hardcore I am. Like, I only feel comfortable when I'm by myself in my own skin, in my own space. All that other shit, I can't do. It has to be me in my element. See your mom. She seemed fine. She was never fine when it came back. Dad, stop being cryptic. Just tell me. Your mother is worried about what? What happened with her this time? Your sister is beyond being worried about, Sarah. Mom is worried about you. She thinks I'm a lesbian. That's funny. Or too much of a slut to be taken seriously, or not enough of one to find somebody in the first place. And she's dying. That unsaid thing. If you had someone that you could turn to, when things got tough with her, it might make all the difference. She doesn't need me as much as you think she does. She's more capable than you. Then you know, I think is what it said. You've always been just like me. You're strong. You don't complain. And you've never been afraid of responsibility. But sometimes I think you can't see that there's more to being strong than being on your own. I couldn't tell by the way he locked eyes with me in the rear view. Was it intimidation? Fear? Pity? It's hard to read your parents as people. You don't want to do it. No matter how old you get, you want to believe nothing could shake them. Yeah, that's true. I have to tell you something important, and I don't want you to say anything about it to your mom. Not yet. Cancer, that's what got his mom. Heart failure, Alzheimer's. Just tell me. We can't afford to take care of your sister anymore. Oh, that's the big news? They can't afford to take care of Sarah's sister? What did she do? It isn't just her. The medication costs for mom, they just keep going up. Okay. Yeah, you imagine you have a kid, or you have I almost said liability. Some people see kids as liabilities. I'm not even going to lie. Or kids, I shouldn't say kids. Oh, maybe kids. I don't know. Who knows? Some people are like that. But like when you have a kid and they're grown, we're talking like 30s and 40s, and they could decide to live back home with you, then I think people are more justified to seeing as that kid who's now an adult, 30s and 40s, mind you, as a liability, because now you're taking care of another grown person. It's only because of the unconditional love you have for them that you don't just toss them out in the street and like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? You bum? Get a job, you bum. You know? So I think just because of that, it's like it's not easy for them to just kick their kid out. Just like, yeah, you got to go. If it was just like another family member, maybe like a distant cousin, you know, no problem. You know, you might like, I don't know, cry a river, you know, later that night. But in the morning, you'll be straight. You know, get you a cup of coffee, go out for eggs and bacon. You got a smile on your face. Sun is shining. And forgot about the whole ordeal. But yeah, it's tough when it's your own kid, I bet. Oh, so she's buying. Okay. So actually, her sister is like she's spending. She has a spending problem basically, because her dad just said, you know, she needs to stop spending money on internet stuff basically. If she doesn't knock it off, we won't have any choice but to start charging you rent. Oh, well, she's making it bad for Sarah too. I know you're working your tail off trying to get your life back on track, but things are that serious. And maybe if you can put it to her like that, if she knows how hard you're working to rebuild, maybe some of that attitude will rub off on to her. Maybe. I sold the condo. I don't miss it. I was lonely there. And this is still Toronto. From the 6. Toronto was the 6. Ask Drake. Yeah. He's talking about all the like the college kids and, you know, who were in college, Damn, 29,000 on credit card. Ooh, that's a lot. But all the college kids now who like are buried under mountains of debt from like tuition and dorm, or not dorms, but it's tuition basically, you know, and loans, student loans, and all kinds of crazy shit. And then, you know, they go on later in life and they still have that debt attached to them. Like it follows you wherever you go, man. Especially student loans. That shit does not go away. Not until you pay it off anyway. So you imagine all these students owing thousands, maybe I'm sure some tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. She said, I couldn't live with myself if I screwed up your retirement. You and mom worked so hard for everything you have. So have you. Yeah. Like a lot of these older people and these kids going to go live back at home with their parents, like their parents work their ass off to get where they are, you know, to get that retirement. And I know it's a different time and all, you know, with the market, but still, like these people work their ass off, you know, to own homes and to, you know, to get cars, to basically be in the position they are in today. And, you know, it's like now that they're done with their life, you know, or they're near the end of their life, they just want to relax. And now here we come along, we like, you know what, things aren't going so well for me, I need a place to stay. And then we kind of add that extra burden, hence liability, you know. And I'm talking about when kids come home, when shit just doesn't work out, whether it's school, job, real life, whatever. I lost my job 6 months ago. Yep. I sit at a Path Cafe all day just for interviews. Yep. Jobs with hundreds of applicants who are far more exploitable. Sounds about right. This is very relevant to what's going on today, by the way. All right. I'm proud of you, Sarah. Oh, by the way, I just need to point this out. Sarah Stone, her character sprite looks like Martha Stewart. I just had to say that. And it's hilarious. And that is Little Red Lie. That's the intro anyway. All right. Oh, now we're playing from the perspective. What's this dude's name? Arthur something. Arthur Fox. I'm going to stop here actually. So you guys be sure to smack the like button and subscribe to Koshaku of Gaming. And I hope to see you guys all. I'll see you guys all on the next part.